Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and salutations to the chosen and the elect. I'm Ari Yazabat out of the GMS Dallas camp. And I'm going to entitle this lesson here, Babylon the Great will be plagued. Okay? All right? When you watch the news, you have this Genius Act that's taking place, as prophecy is, moving forward. Okay. You have the CBDC that's being set up, the infrastructure of the MOTB, that CHIP. All right. And, you also have the plagues, that we're going to get into. That's already happening and taking place. And this is why people are suffering right now. You having mass layoffs that's going on. You having these floods and places where it never flood, and these dry places that don't grow grass, like New Mexico, San Antonio, nothing but hot and dirt rocks, okay? And then you got other parts of the world like China. They being flooded out. You got this little skirmish of wars going on in Ukraine and Russia. All right. Things are heating up. You have the leaders, everyone, is getting fed up with the Edomites, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, with him, ruling the earth. Okay. All he's doing is, conquering and colonizing, different parts of the world, setting up, I forgot what you call them, bases, where he can set up an ambassador in the military. Okay. So you have all these things going on. They write executive orders, passing bills left and right, getting rid of government aid and assistance, all of these things are taking place. And, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the true Hebrew Israelites, y'all worrying about rap battles, debates, what this person is doing, social media. Our women are out of control. Eve, this is part of the plagues too, all right, that y'all going through. Y'all wishing y'all had a husband right now because things are getting hard out here. The food about to get scarce, okay? They done took, the Northern Kingdom, which are so-called Latinos and Native Americans. They done, they deporting them and sent them to Alligator Alcatraz, okay? This is Jacob's trouble, all right, that we've been prophesying about, okay? So, we're going to get into Second Esdras, the 15th chapter. We're going to read, some verses out of there and talk about these plagues, okay? Because, hey, these scriptures are speaking, man, okay? Matter of fact, before I even, all right, we're just going to go ahead and start from Second Esdras because, hey, again, time is running out. Our people, which we're only here for the chosen and the elect, all right? So we understand a few is going to take heed to what the prophets are saying. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is Second Esdras, the 15th chapter, and we're just going to start from the top, all right? And it reads, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people." And who was that? Those are the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy," okay? And this is while we go out into the streets and the highways and byways and be uploading videos, via the internet, although the internet does the heavy lifting, because that's like a highway within itself to get this word out, okay? Although we're commanded to go out on the streets, and that's where you see us at, prophesying to our people, all right? Because this is the spirit that, the prophet should be in, is in the spirit of prophecy, according to, Revelation, the 19th chapter, verse 10, all right? That's the spirit we should be in, okay? Warning the sheep, being watchmen, all right? And it reads, which I will put in thy mouth, said the Lord. All right. So Esdras, he's commanded, to go out there and speak to our people. All right. Which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Verse 2, and it reads, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Right. Because, we know these words are going to come to pass. All right. That's why they're written in the scriptures. And according to Isaiah 8 and 20, let's go ahead and get it so I won't have to butcher it up. This is Isaiah chapter 8 and 20. All right. And this is what the real prophets are going to be doing. OK, it reads, to the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. And this is this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that we're giving to our people. OK, according to the scriptures. That's why back in here in Second Esdras, it said, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. All right. We have to speak the words of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. It's only one doctrine. OK, the straight gate. All right. Because these matter of fact, let's get that precept. They shall speak. Let's get that in. I want to say I already know what it's in. It's in Habakkuk. Second Esdras. I think it's in Habakkuk. Well, we about to get it real quick. All right, I think I done passed it already. All right. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Habakkuk 2 and 3, and it reads, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the matter of fact, let me read up. Verse 2. And the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables. Okay. And this is what we're going into with Second Esdras. He said that's written out on paper. Okay. And these are the prophecies that's going to come to pass. All right. And this is just a precept, and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Okay. All right. So when, the elect, hear this, they're going to take off with it. They're going to wake up. For the vision is yet for appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. Okay. And not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Meaning that it's not going to slack. All right. And let's go ahead and go back to Second Esdras, the 15th chapter. All right. So, back at verse 2, and it reads, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. They seem like it's tarrying because it hadn't happened yet. Our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, y'all done lost faith. Y'all don't believe in our power anymore. Y'all don't even think it's real anymore, which that's unbelief. But y'all don't even, believe that he's going to return. Okay. You coming against the prophets, although, these things are prophesied that it was going to take place. Nevertheless, our people are stiff-necked, man. We hard-hearted. All right. Verse 3, and it reads, fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. All right. And when you go into that word incredulity, it means unbelief, and that's what, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are doing, who still walking after these different philosophies and ideologies right now still. OK, y'all coming against the prophets because of what we're doing. We're speaking. Long as we, not speaking the truth, everything is OK. All right. So the scripture reads, fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity, the unbelief of them trouble thee that speak against thee. All right. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Right. So the unbelievers, they're going to die in their unbelief. Okay, and that's the wicked 2/3 that this is going into. Okay, because a third, which is the elect, gonna make it out of it. Okay, out of this destruction, these plagues that's gonna take place. All right, verse 5, and it reads, "Behold, said the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, I will bring plagues upon the world." See, that's everywhere, not just in Babylon the Great. Yeah, Babylon the Great is the focal point, but we're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, so we in captivity under these heathens, and we under the curses. Okay, so it reads, "Behold, said Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword." All right, which can be any weapon. All right, the famine. Like I say, you having these mass layoffs. You have DJ writing these executive orders, cutting off benefits. Okay, you have the farmers who were farming in Alligator, Alcatraz, and deported. Okay, which is the Northern Kingdom and some of the Southern Kingdom too. Okay, you have that's a plague. Okay. You have death going on, people dying at young ages. It seems like 50 is the new era where people dying. So hey, we're in those times, man. These plagues are coming upon the whole world. All right, and you also have destruction that's taking place, and going back, that's dealing with again with these disasters. All right. You having people down in these floods. Okay, you having earthquakes. You see, all over the world. So hey, man, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, these are the times that we're in now, and these plagues are happening. They're alive right now. Okay, verse 6, and it reads, "For the wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth." And how is that taking place? Because you got a level of unrighteousness everywhere in the earth. Okay, no one is keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, which that's for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are the true Hebrew Israelites. But this is why the elect is rehearsing the righteous acts according to Judges 5:11. Okay, because this is why, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is pitched right now. Okay. And then you have Esau Edom, who's ruling the earth right now. He's destroying it, turning the water, poisoning the food, giving people that taco sauce, that jump shot. All right. Our food is destroyed. We can't drink. The air we breathe got chemicals in it. Okay. So this is why Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is going to have to return, all right? And then then comes judgment, you see? Verse 6 again. "For wickedness had exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled." Right. Now this time, comes the judgment, all right? Because we have to, this whole earth has to get judged now, all right? "Therefore said Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai," verse 8, "I will hold my tongue no more," meaning that enough is enough. Okay, as touching their wickedness, meaning that hey, it's time for judgment to go out, and that's what these plagues are here for. All right, "which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which the wickedly exercise themselves." Right. Okay. So again, that's going into, you have mass adultery going on right now. That's wickedness. You have moles, the latter people community. All right. You have, everybody living as thou wilt, eating what you want to eat. Okay. Regardless if it's unclean. Okay. So people are just really turning into darkness and wickedness. It's on your mind every day because you got these phones. Okay. Everywhere we turn and look, you see wickedness. All right. And amongst our people, Jake is taking it too far now. Every time you look up, man, you seeing a couple, whether the Jake man, killing the lady, his woman, or you seeing a woman kill a man. And this is among, the you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And it's running rapid. You see? All right. Verse 8, and it reads again, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness. Right. Because it's nothing but darkness throughout the earth, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood cried unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. And this is what the prophets are out there doing, okay? That's why we're on the highways and byways, being watchmen, because we see these plagues happening, okay? These prophecies come to pass, all right? And we cry continually because, hey, we want to get saved out of this. We only here for the chosen and the elect, all right? Because these plagues, when they start taking place, as they are now, hey, they're going to get worse. They're going to heighten. They're going to become aggressive, all right? And then, it's going to be an unfortunate thing for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And I'm only speaking to the 2/3, the wicked 2/3, all right? Because by that time, by the time you start looking for the prophets and wanting the word, that's part of the famine too, that this word ain't going to be here that long, okay? Verse 9, and it reads, and therefore said Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. And that's going into the elect. Okay, you see, that's the remnant, because it says, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them, because we scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, that's why Yahweh Shai said he's going to have to gather his elect throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, because we scattered among the heathen. Okay, verse 10, and it reads, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. Right. And that has a lot to do, not only with these curses, but, that's the wicked 2/3 who refuse to take heed. Okay. You rather, again, listen to the philosophies of this world, these ideologies, you trying to chase the bag, the box. Okay. This place going to get destroyed. And, you still thinking that, this is your place of rest. All right, when it's not, okay? And it reads again, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. And that's going into America, Babylon the Great. That's the Egypt that it's talking to, because during this time when Esdras was writing this down, during his time, Egypt had we were already led up out of Egypt, okay? So this is prophecy right here that it's speaking of, and it's gonna give you more clarification in the next verse. All right. So this is this time period that we in right now, and it reads verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, which is Yahweh Shai, and the chariots with the army of hosts, the angels. Okay, and smite Egypt, which is Babylon the Great, aka America, with plagues. All right, so we already read those plagues. Those plagues, like with the sword and stuff. That's like being shot down in the street. Okay. Again, the famine, all of those things. Food becoming scarce. All right. So we have some dark times coming ahead of us. And, you want to have a hedge of protection under Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. And it reads, and smite Egypt, which is Babylon the Great, with plagues as before, just like in old Egypt. Okay. Pharaoh wouldn't let his people go, wouldn't let the children of Israel go, as Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai commanded Moses. And the Most High, Yahweh, sent plagues among them. Okay? The same thing's going to happen this time as well. And will destroy all the land thereof. All right? So there's going to be destruction, not only in Babylon the Great, but these plagues are going to hit all over the earth because we scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Judgment has to take place throughout the four corners of the earth. All right? Let's grab Jeremiah, the 16th chapter. Let's get it. All right, this is Jeremiah chapter 16, and we'll start from verse 14, and it reads, Therefore, behold, the days come, said Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, the Lord Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Right. Because we've that Egypt has passed already. Okay? You see? Verse 15, and it reads, but Yahweh, but Yahweh thy power liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, which is speaking of America. You see, that's how you know this is a future prophecy, and that Egypt is talking about America. All right. And from all the lands whether he had driven them, because again, Yahweh Shai said he got to gather the elect throughout the four corners of the earth. All right. From all the lands whether he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land, which is the holy land that I have gave unto their fathers. All right. When we enter into the second covenant with the new bodies, the immortal bodies, Lord willing, we those men and women. Okay. So these plagues, are going to hit Babylon the Great. All right. And we're in those times. Okay. In these times right now. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. And with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahah, Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who have taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and salutations to the chosen and the elect. Shalom.